All right, guys, it's 9:33 p.m. on Tuesday, and I just finished all of the outlines for the 3 days and the dozen plus sessions that we're going to have at the 2024 Craftsman Creative event. I'm just so excited about it, so I wanted to show you kind of behind the scenes of how I put this together because as you know, this is not a conference. It's not a seminar. I don't have 50 speakers coming to this event. It's me plus two guest speakers and one sponsor speaker. So it's really one person per day for an hour, and the other 5-6 hours is me doing these workshops, hosting these workshops day after day after day. So I wanted to show you what my screen looks like and how I've been thinking about this. First of all, it's the only thing on my screen, and that's essential because as soon as you have an email window and a text window and a Slack window and everything else popping up and giving you notifications, you're not going to get stuff done. And so I wanted to just kind of show you how I laid this out using an app that I love for writing, which is called Highland 2. Now I use it for all of my articles. I use it for all of my screenplays. I use it for presentations, outlines, things like that. I just love the way it works. I love, shoot, what's it called? I love using markup for things, and you'll see a lot of that throughout. So you can see I've got day 1, day 2, day 3, 3 different documents open. And I have all of them open because at times I might drag and drop something or cut and paste something from day 1 to day 2, and I want to have those documents open so I can easily go, oh no, that's part of this session on day 2, for example. So what you'll see is I'm using, all these different like little markup tools like notes and line breaks and highlights and things like that in order to really outline what the day looks like. And so at the very top of each one, I've got 4 sessions plus this other session at the end of the day. So that's a 5-session day. This is a 5-session day. This is a 4-session day. So you can see how all of that is laid out right at the beginning. The other thing that I'm showing and making sure that I have in every single session is this idea of a gap. And so where are they coming into that session from, and where do I want them to exit? What stepping stone are we helping them get from and to in this session? Because if you don't have that direction, if you don't understand where you're taking people, A, you're not doing anything transformational. You're not changing them. You're not helping them progress and move forward. And B, you're just kind of floating. I think it feels like treading water. Like, great, you're saying stuff, but what do I do about this? And I don't like workshops like that. Every one of these workshops has to have a purpose and has to have a point. And so what you'll see in all of these is there's a gap right at the top. And then you'll see a very similar structure. And so this is the structure that I use. I actually use it in articles as well. So when I'm writing newsletters or blog posts or doing YouTube videos or any other videos, as far as the structure of those pieces of content, I use a very similar thing. This is kind of a compressed one, but it's 5 parts. I think it's 5, yeah. Story, old way, new way, implement, and emotion. And so what are these 5 pieces? Well, story, I always want to lead with story. First of all, I'm a film producer. I talk about the importance of story and the effectiveness of story all the time. So I have to live up to that. So I have stories that emphasize the points I'm trying to make every single workshop, every single session. I want to make sure there's a story there to help illustrate the idea or the principle that we're covering and implementing in that one. It also helps to show the old way and the new way. And so I start the whole event by saying, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of stuff that people do, and I'm going to show you what you should do instead. And so we have to live up to that promise in every single workshop. And so the old way is what, is common, what the gurus will teach you, what's very prevalent online. And the new way is the systems, the frameworks, the principles that I live by and have found success with over a 15-year career in film, TV, video, audio, media, content, all of these areas that I've worked in. And so that's the whole point. If I'm just here telling you here's what everybody says to do, go ahead and do it, that's not super valuable. They didn't have to show up to this event in order to learn those things. So they're coming, and we're going to kind of give them breakthroughs or aha moments in every single workshop, showing them this is what most people do, this is why it doesn't work, this is what you should do instead. And then arguably the most important part of this structure is the implement part. So that's part 4. It's story, old way, new way, implement. And quickly, the emotion or the essence is what I want to leave them feeling. So do I want to leave them feel empowered or in control or confident? I know they're all very similar things, but do I want them to have clarity? Do I want them to have any of those other really empowering mindsets at the end? How do I want to make them feel? There's sometimes where I want them to feel responsible and kind of in a not guilty way, but in a, oh yeah, I should have owned that. That's on me. I'm responsible for that, and I'm going to change that. So I want to know what's the end feeling that I'm leaving them with before we go to the next workshop or to the next break or to lunch or thing like that. But back to implement, that's the important thing about this event is it's a series of workshops. It's 3 days of workshops. Now there's 2 or 3 sessions that I have, guests coming and a sponsor speaking. But even those have implementation built in because I told them coming to the event, this is what this event is about. It's not just information. I want you to tell us what to do, and I want to spend time doing it as well. So I'm really excited that they've bought into that and they're leaning into it with us. But the implement stage is what sets this event apart because I've been to dozens of conferences in my career, in everything from business to like expos to conventions to conferences to seminars to summits to workshops to retreats. I've done all the things, and the things I love best are workshops because what it allows me to do is show up, and I've already dedicated the time. I've taken the time off, I've traveled to that place, and it allows me to do the work right then and there. Because what happens with a lot of conferences and seminars is I'll go to and I'll take a bunch of notes, but I have to wait until I get home in order to start implementing them. There wasn't any time set aside for that. Now, I know that's not the purpose of conferences and summits. The purpose is to have a bunch of speakers and have a bunch of people in the room talking about ideas and principles and the things that are working for them, but then you've got to figure out how to take that back and implement it in your business or your life. I like doing it in real time because you're already there. You just heard the principle. You just learned. You're feeling empowered. You want to take action. Well, let's set aside whether it's 5, 10, 15, 30, 60 minutes to do the work right then and there. So that's built in to every single one of these workshops. Now, that's the overview. I don't want to get so into this that it turns out to be a 15-minute video. So I just wanted to give you a quick behind the scenes. And you can see as I scroll through, some of these are really long. So the next step is for me to take all of these stories and ideas and turn them into bullet points, put them into, slides, or understand like what am I going to draw out on an iPad or a whiteboard for each one of these. So it's like the supporting materials. What's the worksheet look like? What's the thing I'm going to draw out or have them do, and make sure that those exist as well. So they're loaded in my laptop. So when I'm presenting, I just hit next slide and I know where I'm going, and it's queuing up the next story or the next thing that we're going to implement. And it's a diagram or it's a worksheet that we're going to do together. So that's how it's laid out. But you can see I've spent a lot of time. I mean, I don't know, there's, a couple thousand words in each one of these. And so, it's a small little ebook here. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but it really shows all of the different sessions, makes sure and helps me ensure that I've got everything covered in every single session so that I know I'm delivering on the transformational aspect. I'm setting aside time for implementation and doing the work together, and that we're really helping them understand how to move from what's not working to what's working. So if that sounds interesting to you and you're watching this, I hope that you'll join me at the 2024 Craftsman Creative event. It's Monday, January 29th through Wednesday, January 31st. 3 days of workshops to help you work on your business so we can create more profitability, more ownership, more control, more growth, more progress, more all of the good things that you want in your creative life. So there it is. There it is. Slurring my words. It's late at night. I'm not going to edit this because I don't have time for that. So here we go. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you at the event. Thanks.